Come on kids, let's learn ABC. Slow and happy, sing with me. E says ah, B says ah. A for airplane, A for apple. B airplane, A apple. B says buh, B says buh. B for ball, B for bananas. B ball, B banana. C says ka, C says ka. C for cat, C for car. C cat, C car. D says go, D says go. D for dog, D for drums. D dog, D drum. E says ah, E says ah. E for elephant, E for grapes. Big elephant, E egg. F says F says F for fish. F fun, F fish. F fun. G says go, G says go. G for goat, G for grapes. G goat, G grapes. H says who, H says who. H for hat, H for horses. H hat, H horses. A says ow, A says ow. I for ice cream, I for inks. I ice cream, I ink. J says Joe, J says Joe. J for jug, J for jeepa. J jug, J jeepa. K says cool, K says cool. K for kite, K for keys. K cage, K Kia. L says loud, L says loud. L for lion, L for leaf. L lion, L leaf. M says ow, M says ow. M for monkey, M for milk and M monkey, M milk and. N says M says N for nest, N for nose, N nest, N nose. O says woo, O says ow. A for orange, O for ostriches. O orange, O ostrich. P says woo, P says woo. P for card, P for pens. P card, P pen. Q says Q, Q says Q. Q for queen, Q for quilts. Q queen, Q quilt. R says roar, R says roar. R for lion, L for leaf. R running, A ring. S says tss, S says tss. S for sun, S for stars. S for sun, S for star. T says do, T says do. T for tiger, T for jeepers. D tiger, D jeeper. He says ooh, U says ooh. U for umbrella, U for uncle is U umbrella. U uncle. He says woo, he says woo. V for van, V for buses. V van, V buses. Top S is woo, top S is woo. W for watch, W for water. W watch, water.